Well, hello there. Welcome to On the Beat, the podcast that uncovers full frontal male nudity in cinema. My name is Laura, and I am joined by my agent, Ryan.
Yep, I get the best deals. I make the best deals.
You're wheeling, you're dealing, and we are going to talk about
I'm a La La Land lover.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about the 2000 independent drama IVANSXTC, which I always say IVANSXTC.
I always say that as well.
But it's ecstasy.
Okay, I'm glad that came up because I wondered what that meant. But now that I see it, I'm like, why didn't I know that? So
I'm going to get into the title in a bit, but this film is directed by Bernard Rose, starring Danny Huston, Peter Weller, and Lisa Enos.
Yeah.
And I will give you the synopsis that I pulled from Letterboxd.
Okay.
It's long. It also says La La Land in it. So
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. It's very rare that I see La La Land. It's because I saw it on the back of the box, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, Ivan Beckman, Hollywood's most sought-after talent agent, the darling and crowned prince of La La Land, is dead. How and why did it happen? Was it drugs, murder, or perhaps something altogether more mundane? We begin and end. We begin with... I can't read. That's not part of the synopsis. We begin with an ending, and then catapult back a number of days to the apex of Ivan's brilliant career as he bags international megastar Don West
This is
onto
not a
his
synopsis.
company books. We then follow Ivan through the highs, lows, and extreme excesses of his final days. So,
yeah, I mean,
yep.
it was pretty much just that was everything. So
I mean, it should just be the first sentence and the last sentence.
it should be, yeah. Stop telling us basically the edited structure of what you're what the film's gonna be. It begins and ends with his death. It's like, okay. Awesome.
How did it happen? Was it drugs?
Oh no. Yeah. Was it because he was a pussy freak?
Yeah, definitely.
Which I can't use that term with that because if Peter Weller said it, Peter Weller was born to say it. So, you know.
Peter Weller also did a lot of improvisation, so he was just holding Pussy Freak in his back pocket, waiting to bring it out.
Aye, and I mean, if we've ever seen interviews with Peter Weller, yeah, that's definitely something he's probably had in his back pocket. He has got some, which is still one of my favorite things that he's ever said.
And the tagline is, "There's a fine line between success and excess." Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. It makes up for the terrible synopsis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that really got me amused. Yeah, that's really good, that one. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should just talk about Bernard Rose, though.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this man.
Yeah. Are you?
I am. I weirdly really am.
Okay.
He's underrated.
So he's an English filmmaker. He's considered a pioneer of digital filmmaking, and that'll come into play a little bit more when we talk about IVANSXTC. Just a kind of brief note as well. I mean, you were talking about the Muppets. You said he was as 21, he was working on the Muppets,
Well, he worked
the final
on
season on the
last season of the Muppets show, and then he worked on Dark Crystal.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't go that deep. But yeah, he's directed a fair amount of very diverse things. He directed horror movies like Paper House in 1988, Candyman, 1992, obviously the Clive Barker written story. He's had historical romances from Immortal Beloved from 1994 and Anna Karenina in 97. Karenina. Is that it? Karenina? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, well, you know what I'm like with things that I can't pronounce. He directed music videos for UB40, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and Bronski Beats. But we know the Frankie Goes to Hollywood. He did Relax. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And yeah, for the most part, I mean, IVANSXTC.
Ecstasy.
It was shot on early HD video, which became a rising popular aesthetic into the noughties. Because you saw it with they started shooting more TV shows with it as well. And it's a very cheap format. You could just shoot forever. get away with it. Cameras got a lot smaller by this point as well, so you could just run around with a little camera. And yeah, no, I think, because there's him, there's like Steven Soderbergh, he shot films like this as well. But yeah, no. But
I
yeah.
wrote down the camera that he used. So
Oh, okay, tell me.
It was a Sony HDW 700A HD video format digital camera.
Right.
And they shot it in, what is it, 60...
60i interlaced, yeah. So it's slightly different. It's not progressive. It's not 60p. So it has a very particular look about it. It feels very documentary, like for documentary, like, because it's all handheld for the most part, and things are just kind of allowed to play out for the most part. Because it's at least in terms of how it is and how it's shot, how it's put together. It's kind of like the audio sounds as if it's kind of caught and it's captured like incidentally. So it's not particular. It's not very specific. It's not very particular. It's kind of very incidental, and you're kind of left. So to me, it kind of has this, this kind of, it is purest form, very kind of improvisational. Things are allowed to kind of just play out. I shot a few short films kind of in this way, just like you created a scene and then you just captured the scene, and I'd be like zooming in, moving around, doing all sorts of stuff. And I quite enjoyed that. And then you would just kind of cut it and cut around certain things. As long as you kind of painted a good enough picture and you captured it from a few different angles. I mean, technically, because it was solo shooting, you should have been probably shooting the same things with different cameras. There's a shot in the movie where you see a reflection of the cameraman. It's in one of the elevator shots. You can see the reflection of the cameraman.
That cameraman is the director. He shot the whole thing.
Well, he shot it with just one other person. This film probably should have been shot with a couple of cameras, so you could capture the same thing over, like at least capture it once with multiple cameras to make it a little bit more authentic. But for the most part, I mean, yeah, it's it has a very particular look, has a very particular style, and I think it lends to the film's quality or lack of quality, if you want to, whatever way you want to kind of shake it, because you can see why maybe people distance themselves a little bit from this, like as a viewer. I find a lot of joy and pleasure out of watching this movie, though. I quite like it. As one of those like Player-esque like dives into Hollywood and the glitz and the glamour nonsense. I mean, to me, it looked like an episode of Curb for the most part.
Well, his style kind of persists in this way.
Yeah.
After this film for a while.
Right. Okay.
Especially doing the Tolstoy adaptations and working with Danny Huston. He did like the Kreutzer Sonata after this.
Right, okay.
Shot the same way.
It kind of, I can't remember the director's name off the top of it. It's Brian Yuzna's pal. Like
Stuart Gordon. I just remembered.
Yeah.
I literally just remembered.
So yeah, Stuart Gordon. Yeah. So he did very similar things like that when he was doing like film adaptations of like plays and stuff. Like he did that movie with William H. Macy. Where he basically, he ends up being gay in prison.
Oh, all right.
That one. So he started doing kind of more stuff like that. That's kind of what I feel like that is. But like this is really when the boom in digital filmmaking comes to be. This is when obviously digital cameras just started being used more widely. And then with the advent of, say, the DSLR, it was kind of less of like, wow, can we make a small thing that also just looks like you've shot a movie with it. Here, obviously, with IVANSXTC, it's kind of you can tell that there's a real kind of differentiation between this and what you would probably class as like, like something cinematic or like a film. Of this point was obviously kind of shot on film, for example, where this is obviously more shot on tape.
Well, according to the director, this is the first feature film to be made on high definition digital. So he puts that in a feather in his cap.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of why he would be seen as a pioneer. But he's just the one that got to it first. I don't think anyone. Well, I think there's a certain snobbery around a certain generation of filmmakers who grew up shooting things on film. And there's almost like a boomer mentality from older actors who are also just like they preferred the time when folks shot on film because you were more economic, because you were like, you're literally, for every frame that you're shooting, it costs money. With tapes and with digital, and now obviously with the advent of hard drives and stuff like that, you can just shoot forever, and all it is the only price is time at that point. But yeah, no, I think with this, yeah, it reminds, because Steven Soderbergh did plenty of movies just shot on video cameras as well. Full Frontal is the one I remember, which is technically like the pseudo sequel to Sex Lies of Videotape, but yeah.
Right. Well, Lisa Enos, who is one of the producers, she's a co-writer. She plays Charlotte as well.
Okay.
She is a documentary filmmaker, and she was shooting a documentary, and she also shot it on digital,
right,
on HD. So
that's kind of the format for it, obviously, is
right.
documentaries, because you want to shoot as much stuff as you possibly can, you know.
Well, she and Bernard Rose had been dating for about a year when they began working on this film.
Okay.
And so she was the one who kind of brought the idea of shooting it this way, because she shot her documentary for super cheap.
Right.
It was like a feature-length documentary. They shot it for like $163,000. And he was like, "Can we make a film like that?" She's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And so that's how this kind of started to happen.
But you can tell, like, this film, it's not like he has the budget of a full-scale film and he's shooting it on HD digital. He's shooting a film on a shoestring budget in HD digital.
Yeah.
With his pals,
well,
for the most part.
You can tell, like, it was originally intended to be kind of a Dogma 95 type of film.
Yeah, you can tell.
They were planning to do it that way, where the filmmaker and the crew would all be credited as the filmmakers, you know? But they ended up calling it, instead of like Dogma 95, they were going to call it Karma 99.
Okay.
Because their karma
Well,
ran over the dogma.
Oh, I see.
Ha ha ha.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Just telling you what they said.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
I'm the messenger.
Well, you can say what you want about Dogma 95, that, you know, potentially it's like, you know, it's a little bit pretentious, but it's still one of those weirdly important kind of film movements, you know, that have influenced an entire generation of filmmakers. So.
Right.
But to me, like, the thing that you lose now with, say, like, modern digital is that kind of, like, that tape-based look that you get from it, where all the whites are super fucking white and overexposed, and your blacks are kind of really digi and kind of nasty, and it's like, that's something I kind of miss from, you know, from things being shot on, like, more tape-based stuff. But now that we've kind of gone to, here's something that looks exactly like a film, like shot on a Red or something like that, or shot on a DSLR, where it's like, it's got depth of field, you know. I like a clumsy looking handheld zoom that goes into something for no apparent reason, you know, because it's like, oh, it's just because it's a feature, you can do it, you know, you just get your finger and you just do it. Like, I miss that with this kind of format, which is why I kind of respect what they do with IVANSXTC. So,
well, it became kind of a problem for theatrical distribution, because it would continuously fail at like QC. So when they would try to show it, it's kind of rough. Like, if you see the Blu-ray version that Arrow put out, it is clean.
Yeah, it's very
super clean. They've got 3 different versions of it on there.
Yeah,
and
well, there's a transposed 60i version that runs at 24p. I think it's difficult to get. It's like when you transfer from say like an interlaced video to deinterlacing it to make it feel like it's got that kind of film quality, which is something I did a lot with early films, was I found the deinterlacing that you can do. But yeah, it's very difficult to kind of get rid of that properly. You know, it feels very fast. It's like that mode you have on TVs now, where it's kind of like 50 frames per second, like when they shot the Hobbit movies that way.
Right.
And it's ugly as fuck.
It is a little jarring at first when you watch it, but It works.
It does work. It just feels like it's just a film that they've sped up a little bit and everything's meant to feel more realistic. But it's still like a very high budget film. I just don't really think I like that as much as like it's within it's integral to the overall aesthetic of this film.
Well, did you want me to? I'm going to tell you about the title, which you were wondering. IVANSXTC.
Yeah.
So the director said that the title is deliberately obscure for no reason.
Okay, cool.
Because he thought it would be funny to make it like that because he's like, this isn't a studio film. This is just something he shot, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, he goes, well, it's obscure, but you remember it. It's a title that you remember. So he was very proud of that.
Yeah.
Originally, in brackets under the title, it said, like in quotes, to live and die in Hollywood.
Okay.
Because he thought that is what the studios would have changed the name to. So it's like a little joke.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's also, I mean, it's based on what's the Tolstoy book called? It's not the life and death of Ivan. It's like Ivan's something or other.
The film is loosely based on the Tolstoy novella from 1886 called The Death of Ivan Ilyich.
Okay, yeah.
But the character of Ivan is inspired loosely by the talent agent Jay Maloney. He was a super popular talent agent, but he also had a very intense drug and alcohol addiction.
Okay.
That kind of rose along with his popularity.
Mm-hmm.
He was fired from his agency, which was CAA, in 1996, and he kind of disappeared. And in 1999, he hung himself 2 days after his 35th birthday.
Fuck.
He also happened to be Bernard Rose's agent.
Oh, right. Okay.
So he was very familiar with him. So when he was writing it, he died when they were cutting the film together.
Okay.
So it was like, it became this huge thing. It became a problem. Let's just say that much. So Bernard Rose said it was never a documentary about CAA. This very tragic suicide of Jay Maloney was unconnected with the movie, but because he had been my agent in the late 80s and early 90s, the character was somewhat based on his personality. But because of the death of Jay Maloney and how it just happened to line up that way, just incidentally, it made it much harder to sell the film because it was too close to what actually happened.
Right, okay.
It was just a big whoopsie.
Mm.
And in terms of Tolstoy adaptations, he has done 5 of them. And Danny Huston's in most of them as well.
Right.
They work together a lot. They've been friends since they met when he was dating or married to Virginia Madsen.
Okay.
So when he was doing Candyman, they met and became friends.
I see.
Well, he's a Nepo baby. Obviously.
What his dad was John Huston?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
Bernard Rose actually played a lot of the piano pieces for the film, the Wagner.
Oh, okay. I see.
And they cut this film together at his house using Avid.
I mean, that was the time. That was the time of it. Yeah, we've all played with Avid at some point. It's the film editor's editing program, Avid.
There you
That's
go.
what it is. Yeah, it really is. It is. Yeah, it's not the casual users at editing software. That's for sure. So.
Another interesting casting was that James Marandino, who plays Danny McTeague in the film, he's the director that wrote Weeds.
Yep.
In the film, he directed SLC Punk, amongst other things.
Yeah, man, that movie's all right. That movie's all right.
Did you yawn through that?
I did, yeah. I'm also
that is
so exhausted.
very offensive.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's going to hear this. So that's really where the offense starts and ends. Of course, he's not even going to listen, Laura.
I emailed him.
He's not going to.
Well, as the synopsis of the film laid out, the film starts before we even meet the main character.
Yeah.
And we find out that he died from cancer, and everyone's already scrambling. All the agents are scrambling to take his really prodigious client list. And then we go back and we see his final days. His colleagues basically dismiss the news that he has lung cancer.
Yeah.
And then making jokes about it as a drug overdose, which it kind of is as well, because it's kind of an exacerbation of the pure amount of like ecstasy and cocaine and
He
pain
was
meds.
doing a lot of drugs.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, the guy,
right?
yeah, if they were doing it the improv way that I thought they were doing it, I mean, they did just make sure that there was a guy just in the back who's just like, just make sure you bring up drugs at least every second line. He's like, what about those drugs, you know?
I do like that every time someone finds out he died, they're like, oh, well,
What about those drugs?
the drugs, right?
You know, the drugs?
He was a
All the
drug addict and a
drugs.
pussy freak.
He just, pussy freak. It was fucking funny.
Peter Weller is incredible. Peter
He's really
Weller's
good, yeah.
always incredible, but they didn't know if they could get him in the film.
Right.
And then also Bernard Rose was like, isn't he going to be kind of difficult? He was worried that he was going to be a pain in the ass, and then he was just an absolute treasure. And just everyone had to match his energy because he was just having so much fun
Yeah.
that everyone had to just like level up to meet his energy.
Okay.
He's doing cocaine off of people's legs.
Yeah.
He's touching titties. Like,
He
he's
is.
having so much fun.
Yeah. No, he's a real treat in this. He really is.
For the reason that we do this podcast at about 43 minutes and 56 seconds,
Yeah.
if you didn't know, there's a nude scene.
There is. Yeah.
So this is between Ivan and Charlotte, his girlfriend, and they are at his house reading a script by his pool. I think she's reading Weeds.
Yeah, she's she's kind of explaining to him that like the script is total fucking garbage and that he's potentially maybe losing his mind.
Yeah.
For wanting to champion it so much. And she does like read it. It's pretty droll for the most part. He keeps on going on about just like wasn't he like nominated for writing and directing or something? But it was like he didn't say what.
Right.
Or what awards he garnered for his directing and his writing.
Well, I assume it wasn't the fake film we saw in the film starring Tiffany Amber Thiessen and Peter Weller as Don West.
Well, it was pretty, it was terrible.
I like a film within a film.
Yeah, you know what? It shows ingenuity as far as I'm concerned. It's like
They had to do a whole other thing.
It's like you're really creating a world here.
Yeah.
You know? It's like the film they make at the end of The Player.
Exactly.
Yeah, with Julia Roberts and Bruce Willis, where he saves her from the gas chamber. But it's I like that. Film within a film.
Well, he's in his robe, and Charlotte derobes, and she jumps into the pool naked, and then he takes off his robe.
Yeah.
And then he also gets in the pool. So we have like a pre-pool penis, and then a la Color of Night type of floating situation, but for a very long period of time. So this pool scene was part of it's in the original film, but there was a few extra minutes added to this scene in the extended producer's cut that's on the Arrow Blu-ray. So you get more of an extrapolation and an explanation and look into their relationship, and then also more penis.
Okay.
In this scene.
Yeah, it did seem like you saw a lot more than we did with whatever version it was that we did see originally.
Right.
When we saw this the first time. It feels kind of extended, ironically. Being the producer's cut, that's the extended cut.
Well, this is Lisa Eno's, because as the director, this is her cut of the film.
Aye.
And she wanted more of this scene.
Yeah.
She talked a bit about the nudity, not necessarily Danny Huston's bit of the nudity, but for her, it wasn't necessarily a question. She's like, she grew up in a conservative area, but when you're doing theater and stuff like that, there's not a lot of places to change. And so it's just pretty natural to just do that type of thing.
Okay.
This was also, again, like the beginning of her and Bernard Rose's relationship, who is there directing the film.
Yeah.
And she's getting her booty kissed and stuff and floating around naked in a pool.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't an issue at all. It just wasn't something they necessarily even discussed. It was just, this is in the script, it's part of the film.
No.
And it's a casual relationship between two people that are in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean it feels authentic. I mean it's not like it doesn't lend any sort of wooden nature to it. I mean you can obviously tell that there's a bit of a rift between them.
Well,
in terms of the characters that they're playing.
I like this particular part quite a bit. This is one of my favorite parts of the film, other than like all the cocaine and the fun with Peter Weller and stuff. But this particular scene I like quite a bit because it is super casual. And when you have two people that are in a relationship and, you know, you go swimming naked, or if you're having a conversation, you just got out of the shower, you're not covering yourself up. You're just talking. They're just talking pretty much naked. I think he maybe has his robe on at this point, but it's just, I don't know. It just feels like it just feels natural, as you already said. I'm just saying the word natural over and over again. But
yeah, but
pretty
it's also
fluid.
yeah, but it's also a scene that kind of helps to characterize what the state of their relationship is at this at
Yes.
this point. Because
Well, there's a power dynamic as well that's going on because he is
Yeah.
quite a powerful agent and she is very ambitious and trying to like
she's trying
make
to
a
do the
name
same
for her.
thing. Yeah, she's trying to do the same thing.
You know, and he's not really.
He's not reciprocating it in the same
No.
way. It's like he's talking about work and expecting her to be interested in the work he's doing, but the work that she's trying to do, he's not really showing the same sort of enthusiasm the opposite way.
Because they also use that word as a negative towards her in the film. Like, oh, she's really ambitious. Like, it's a
Yes.
problem.
Yes. A young go-getter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare she?
I mean, I can understand that. I mean, that's just kind of the nature of this business as well. It's like you kind of really have to mind your P's and Q's, and you kind of have to go by the business rules to a certain extent. You know, and you saw it in the player as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of. It's that, yeah, it's very sleazy and deliberate, and it's obviously that's kind of the way it is. Like, they're all schmoozy sorts of people. And that's kind of what they all kind of do with themselves. They all schmooze with each other at bars and...
Because in the player, he's an agent as well, isn't he?
He's a
Or a
producer.
producer?
So
Okay.
he greenlights scripts and he kind of looks at it, in terms of like the financials more so than a talent agent. Talent agent hooks people up with with the very specific talented individuals that'll get them those roles, that sort of thing, or greenlight projects and hook them up in these sorts of areas and stuff like that. So it's slightly different.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Which is why it seems more schmoozy, because you're taking people who you think are going to make you a fair amount of money doing all these projects and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more schmoozy than, say, like the more hard grind of the producer, reading all these scripts, speaking to all these writers, these directors about making things and getting projects made and stuff like that. So
The house that they are in, by the way, because I was wondering about this house, it was actually the house that Lisa Enos and Bernard Rose were renting together in Sherman Oaks. So it makes sense that they were able to film there
okay,
because it was free.
okay, is that Ivan's actual house?
That is Ivan's house in the
Okay.
film,
Yes. Okay.
but in
the
reality,
one with the shit decor.
correct, in the pool, yeah.
The pool's nice enough. His
Yes.
fucking bedroom, though.
The wallpaper is not
yeah,
great.
you're like,
Well, they're renting it.
yeah, but like, it looks like something out of fucking Fargo. Like, it doesn't look like you're kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's very early 90s.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's weird. It's very strange. It's like patterned wallpaper, which was such a thing.
It definitely was.
Yeah, it was.
I wonder if that's coming back now as a fashion, but
I
maybe
don't-
less
Yeah, I
gauche.
don't know, but I can plainly remember like the wallpaper I had on the walls at my house. Like, I used to look at it and stuff as a child because I was lonely, and just like look at the wallpaper and follow the patterns with my fingers because I was lonely.
I remember the wallpaper in my bathroom when I was a child. It was black and gold, like shiny gold.
Yeah.
And there was hanging pineapple lights in the bathroom. It was the most ridiculous and garish thing I've ever seen. But now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, that's cool.
I have a photo of my grandparents' walls patterned wallpaper, and that was just before we sold their house after they'd passed away. And I wanted to remember it. I wanted to remember the wallpaper because that was always kind of held nice. It felt nice
Wow.
remembering that wallpaper. Yeah.
That's sad and lovely.
It is, yeah, yeah. It's when I've started eating like, because I got some Frazzles. If anyone's familiar with Frazzles, the bacon crispy snack from the UK. I make a Frazzle sandwich. It's kind of reminding me of my gran because she used to do that as a snack butter up some bread, put on some frazzles, you got yourself an instant snack.
I didn't even try that sandwich. Next time.
Well, I still have frazzles.
Oh, good. Make me a sandwich.
Because I was like, could I eat the frazzles after that? I was like, nah, the sandwich is too good. It's way too good. It's way too good an opportunity.
I really like Danny Huston in this role, by the way. I think he's
Yeah.
super charismatic, and he perfectly plays this talent agent where if you look at what he's doing, he's incredibly nice to everybody. He's so very nice and so very sweet, but he's so calculating. Everything he does has a motive.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's good. But it's like, it makes sense for him to be that way. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, he's good at his job. He's the best. He's the best there is. That's why everyone's trying to take his clients.
Yeah. He's also bloodthirsty as well. So it's kind of just like, it's like, no, he's okay. You know. So.
Well, Bernard Rose was nominated for the Independent Spirit Award for Best Director and the John Cassavetes Award for this film.
Yes.
So, you know, even though the film took forever after it came out at the festivals, it took like 2 years for it actually to like come out.
Okay.
And it was only allowed to come out in like art house cinemas.
I mean,
and it took ages for it to get on. Like, people had been trying to find this movie for ages.
Right.
But now it's pretty widely available. The DVD was very limited release as well.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, Arrow has that really good release and stuff like that. So, you know, it's kind of like Leaving Las Vegas as well. That movie just didn't do much. It got a Best Actor Oscar for Nicolas Cage for that movie, but yeah, that film's scarce, and it has I think Shout put it out. I think Shout put it out. So yeah, they've got a 4K of that now.
Wow, I can see you being on Amazon after this.
I fucking love that movie with a passion.
I do love Nicolas Cage.
Well, he's less Cage, you know. He's kind of like, it's a little bit more understated.
I like it when he's screaming. That's my favorite Cage.
Well, he does do that in Leaving Las Vegas. It's just, you kind of have to get past all the fucking horrible, brutal, fucking self-deprecating, self-damaging violence that kind of goes on in that movie as well. So,
well,
you know,
speaking of that,
nice, yeah.
I have a quote from Bernard Rose. This is his take on filmmaking as a career. He said, "You can't make a good movie unless that's what your objective is. Most people think it's an interesting career path. It's not. It's a terrible waste of your life. Making movies. Your life will be sucked into an awful black hole of nothing but unpleasant things going on. How should I go about making my first movie? If you have to ask me, don't do it." Quote.
Yeah, I mean, making films is a literal fucking nightmare sometimes.
He's quite bitter. His film Anna Karenina he worked on, it was maybe 3.5 hours. He obviously loves Tolstoy. It was wrenched from his hands. He was not allowed to edit it. He was not allowed to touch it, and they cut it into like an hour and 40-minute cut. That makes zero sense. He was furious. He made this after that.
Okay.
He's like, "I'm doing a Tolstoy and you can go fuck yourselves. I'm not having you mess with my shit.
Yeah.
It's not happening."
Which is ironic. The producer and obviously co-writer is the one that has the longer cut of IVANSXTC.
Yeah.
You know, his cut's a little bit more shaved down, I think. I think the shorter cut's probably better, though. The extended was fine. It's the same thing, pretty much, and it's kind of hard to tell what is extended and what isn't extended in the film, because they're pretty much identical. But yeah, no, I think his version's a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't think they cut. I don't know if they cut anything from the beginning and the end, because the beginning and the end is quite long, where you have like his finding out that he's dead, that part in the beginning.
It's like the title sequence, basically.
And then the ending sequence of the death.
Yeah.
Where it's this kind of musical flow. It's like that he basically times it all to like music. And then the ending is the same exact way.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "I wanted to cut it because people have asked me why is it so long?" But he's like, it just doesn't work if you cut it because the music makes you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
So
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's good though. I mean, it's good. It's got that juicy middle part, you know, with all the Peter Weller and things like that.
I don't know. Well, we can talk about what we like about it in a second. When I ask you, Ryan, about your ratings, why don't you tell me about your visibility and context rating for the penis scene?
4. So when he reveals it, it's kind of dark, and then when you do see it, you're seeing it all ripply. But the thing is like because of the ripples in the water. But the thing is that it's consistent throughout. It's very balanced, and it's kind of like it's not like it's a focus. It's just because it's there, you
Right.
know. And it's all one shot as well from him. Because she gets in the pool, and then I think it cuts back to him, and then it's pretty much this is from the same, let's say, the same position, right?
Right.
So obviously they've just shot a whole bunch of stuff from that standing position where he is at that other side of the pool. So yeah, you know, it's wide, it's fairly clear for the most part, other than the fact that the big, you know, the main reveal that's not Ripley is a little bit dark. But yeah, no, and it's consistent. It goes all the way through, and it continues from the pool, and the nudity kind of well, not with him, but it continues anyway into the house as well. But because it's so casual, and because it's, you know, because of the way it is, it's like it's not highlighted, it's not accentuated, it's not like, you know, you don't dwell on it for too long. It's just kind of part of this overall moment that's happening. So I give it a 4. I think that's fine.
I agree. I also gave it a 4. They used natural lighting and just the lighting that they had around. There was no big lights brought in for this film.
Well, that's the good thing about shooting on digital, is that you can shoot in relatively quite low light. You just have to obviously deal with the really kind of nasty looking blacks and the really blown out whites with digital.
Right. I think that's obviously a reason that part where his reveal is quite dark when he takes off his
It's
robe.
it's muddy, because the blacks get muddy when they get too dark on this kind of early HD digital video stuff. So,
but I agree with you. I like how kind of natural it is, and it's just very casual, and just seems like that's, I don't know. It really works for that scene. It works for their relationship, and I think that it's a really interesting part of the movie. I don't know. You kind of see him being quite himself in that moment, and her being quite herself, but it doesn't, I don't know. There is that tension between them. I don't know. I just really like that scene. I like a pool scene. And that's like a nice, clear pool. So, and the lights are on and everything.
yeah, well, you know, they have a pool guy.
Yeah, they probably do.
You know, and they put the lights on because it was night.
Yep, and you gotta
Otherwise,
have those you gotta have those lights.
Yeah, you have to have those lights. So, you know.
And what about the film?
4, I like it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I do like it. 4s and 4s.
Me too.
Oh, really?
Spoilers,
So we're all 4s?
Yeah, docking station over
I
here.
like it. But then I don't have anything else really to kind of add about it. I like it. I like what it does, you know. I'm a fan of it. I think originally I gave it a 3, which was kind of just I like it. And that was it. And now I watched it again. I think after watching it a second, I was like, yeah, no, I actually really like it. I do like it. I don't know if I like this cut more than the original, like, theatrical, like the director's cut, which is obviously the 60i version that I would recommend. I think when we first watched it the first time, it's probably the 24 frames per second transfer of the 60i onto film, so it could screen in cinemas. That's probably the version that we saw first. But I do like this. I do like this look, certainly on the Arrow film, on the Arrow release. So.
I don't know. I also gave it a 4. I just like this movie. I like Bernard Rose. I like his stuff. And when I don't know how I even heard about this movie, because it's not like I didn't see Immortal Beloved. Of course I saw that in my Gary Oldman phase, you know? And then Candyman is awesome. So yeah. I'm familiar with his work, but then I just kind of started diving into this weird hole. You know, we've got Ivan's Ecstasy and then the Kreutzer Sonata, which I found at a used bookstore on DVD, and it was like $4. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I bought it, and it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I wish there was a penis in that movie, because I would love to talk about that movie.
But you're talking about it now, technically.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like his stuff. I'm excited to dive more into his films. I recently bought Immortal Beloved. I can't wait to watch it again. So, don't know. It's 4. It's great. It's a weird movie. I hope more people see it because I think it deserves to be seen more.
Yeah.
And
no, you're right.
Danny Huston's underrated. The director's underrated. Everyone's great. It's always a pleasure to see Peter Weller. So, yeah.
I do think Danny Huston is rated the way that he should be rated, though.
What, really well?
Yeah, I don't think anyone has a problem with Danny Huston.
I just don't think that he's as
popular.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, he might be maybe typecast to like a sideline sort of character, but at least in this, like he's got a fair amount of acting chops.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, either way.
Well, that's fine. Thank you for joining me, Ryan, and make sure to follow us.
I had very little choice.
Yeah, you had to be here.
I kind of
You
have
are
to be,
scheduled.
unless you're just like talking to yourself. That's fucking hilarious. Remember, there's only one episode out there where I'm not on it.
That's true.
Remember
you can find us on Letterboxd. You can find that on our Instagram at onthebeat, BiTTE. You can rate us on your favorite podcast platform. That would be nice, and make sure it's a tip-top rating because that's the nicest thing you can do out there in a dark world that we're living in. And coming to you from a penthouse balcony with our pants down in LA, I have been Laura.
Traffic was a bitch. Like at the end of The Player when he gets there and he's like carrying off, he's like, traffic was a bitch. And then the music swells and it says the end. Hollywood, baby. So good.